Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. What are we talking about this time? Epic Games Store completely eliminates revenue fees for small developers. Epic takes no cut for the first 1 million in annual per game revenue under their new plan. So it's been over 6 years since Epic started undercutting Steam's 30% revenue share for developers, asking for just 12% of sales on its then new Epic Games Store. Now Epic is going even further by reducing those fees to zero for a game's first 1 million in annual sales. The newly announced fee structure will go into effect in June, Epic said, and will apply to a developer's revenue on a per app basis. After the first 1 million in annual sales, apps will be charged the usual 12% fee for listing on the Epic Game Store. So cool. I mean, this isn't the first time Epic has offered financial breaks for smaller developers. Back in 2011, the company issued royalty payments for the first 50,000 in sales for projects made with the newly free Unreal development kits. By 2020, that royalty fee grace period for the Unreal Engine products was increased to cover the first 1 million in lifetime sales for a project. So Epic's focus is on the low end of the gaming revenue scale versus Valve's fee structure on Steam. In 2018, Valve cut its default 30% revenue share to 25%, but only for lifetime per game earnings in excess of 10 million. Valve's fees goes down again to 20% after a game hits 50 million in lifetime sales. Yeah, that's a good deal for smaller developers. It's but I don't know. I mean, like, it is a good deal for small developers, but does that mean that Epic Game Store is just not doing well, and now they're trying to entice developers even more by putting that down? Are they really helping out the small guy, or are they trying to get more people to jump aboard, right? Because they really, ultimately, Epic wants people to come off of Steam onto their storefront. And I don't know the statistics of how many people use. I would say everybody that has Steam probably has Epic as well. But, the cost of, or like how many games a person that owns both buys on each platform, I would say Valve or Steam probably outperforms that ratio quite a bit compared to Epic's storefront. And that's mainly because Steam's been around a lot longer. People have their gaming inventory there, and they don't want to move it over to another inventory, right? They don't want to move it over to Epic or anything like that. So if possible, I think a lot of people, including myself, try to buy a game on Steam first. The only time I don't buy it on Steam is if it's not going to be on Steam. Like some game, Good Old Games is a good reference, because a lot of their games are not going to come on Steam, right? Because it's older games that aren't going to be on there. Or Steam or Epic has like some sort of a contract with them or something like that, or exclusivity type thing with them, where it's only going to be on the Epic Steam store, or Epic Store, I'm sorry. And sometimes those are limited, and sometimes those are a lot longer. So it's hard to say, right? So if I really want to play that, then I might pick it up on Epic if I'm really jonesing to play that game, or I might just wait for it to come to Steam, right? But ultimately, that's where I'm going to go. So I don't know. I mean, this is good for smaller developers, but again, it's good for small developers, but also is it a ploy for Epic to kind of draw more attention to their platform? Pat, what do you think of Epic's Epic deal for small developers?
I mean, every couple of years they seem to do something like this, right? Because did they, like, a couple of years ago, they did the whole, like, we'll give you 100% of the revenue if you make your game exclusive on Epic, to developers.
Yeah, or something like that, right?
And it was like a limited thing they did for a while. And I mean, I think that they are having an effect, some of it an effect on Steam, because Steam did last year like a revenue change, as you'd mentioned. But at the same time, I'm with you. I think it's because they're not taking away as much revenue share from Steam as they're hoping to. That's a good point. I think, because I stick with Steam, mostly because that's where the majority of my library is. And when I buy, I can typically buy Steam keys outside of Steam, right? For other games. And you can on some Epic games, but not as many, right? You know, like if I want to buy a game from, like, let's see, CD Keys, they got a sale going on. And I'm like, oh, okay, I want to get that game. It's really highly discounted. Oftentimes as a Steam key, but not an Epic key, right? I can't take a key over to the Epic platform. So, you know, they're just not, the keys for their games aren't as widely dispersed as they are for like Steam. I don't see them dethroning Steam anytime soon. I mean, maybe on the indie side with this, you know, first 1 million. I'm a little, the wording's a little bit funky, and I was trying to read it to see if I can grasp it. Is it the first million of every year? Because then they threw in the word like per app, and I'm like, okay, so is that?
And they say annually, so I'm assuming
First million annually. So if I publish 10 apps, 10 games on their service, they said per app, so that's per game. So, and say game one makes 900,000 in year one, and then I throw on, and then in year two it makes 800,000. In year three I make $1 million. In year four I make $1 million. I won't get charged any fees on their storefront, their percentage, until the 12%, until after I hit $1 million every year on that game. Is that what they're saying? Because that seems kind of odd, because how many games actually sell $1 million every year? $1 million worth every year. It almost sounds like the first time you hit that $1 million mark, anything after there hits that 12% per app. That's the way it almost sounds, right? Because I don't know how many games, I don't keep up with a whole lot of this stuff, but how many smaller indie games make $1 million every year in sales, right? On that one title, that's per app. I'm assuming when they say per app, they mean per game, not per developer. Like if I'm a developer and I publish 10 games, and those 10 games together make me $1 million, does the rev share kick in at that point? So I need to do a little bit more digging on this, because it's a little, the wording is a little bit odd, off for me.
On the Epic Store, it says starting June 2025, for any Epic Store game payments we process, developers will pay 0% revenue share on their first $1 million in revenue per app per year.
Okay.
And then our regular 88 to 12% revenue share when they earn more than that.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know how many games hit that. So, some of these developers that make games that,
so it's saying like if an app makes more than $1 million in that year,
right,
then they'll charge them, and then it starts over every year.
That's what it sounds like. So, it says 1 million in annual per game revenue under the new plan. So, I mean, to me, that's a good deal, especially for these smaller developers. So what it may do is have some of these indie developers. I think a lot of the smaller indie developers are already putting on both anyway. But I mean, would it entice that smaller indie developer to only put it on Epic, because at that point they get all the money? I don't know. I don't think it would.
I don't know, because the other thing is exposure, right? You're probably going to get more exposure through Steam than you are through Epic Storefront.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, it's good on Epic, right? Whether one way or the other. We all know that it's a ploy to steal more business from Valve. But at the same time, it's helping out the little guys. What about you, Shane? I mean, think it's good, bad? You think they're trying to be sneaky?
Well, I think it's a little bit of all three, because, like you said, there's some wording in there that seems a little. It just kind of doesn't follow with what they're saying. But you could be right. It could be that mill, and no matter what after that, it's that 12%. But I mean, a small developer, I don't know what they would average. So I mean, if that's a benefit, great. But I mean, I don't know what, like, let's say.
Let's just take something that's an indie developer that went viral, like Phasmophobia.
Yeah, that's a great example. So I mean, would that have been beneficial to that developer? Did they reach that $1 million or 120 million, or how much did they make, and would that have benefited them? I mean, I'm sure. I mean, money saved is money saved, regardless.
So according to this, gross, they estimate that Phasmophobia has made $444 million.
Holy shit!
With $131 being net revenue, $444 million is gross.
That's gross, because I can't imagine that kind of money. So, but no, I mean, it's great to see a small developer make that kind of money. It's a fantastically fun game, and it's on consoles now too, if I remember right. So great for him. So, how much money would that have saved him at launch? That first year of launch.
Well, Steam, he gets to keep 100% of it the first $1 million of every year, whereas Steam is taking, what do they take? Are they taking 25%? Indie developers, I can't remember what they're doing on the indie developers. Well, it's 30, but I thought indie developers got a little bit of a discount on Steam. Maybe not.
Yeah, but the whole thing is indie developers, they do deserve a break, because they're they don't have the funds of EA, Microsoft, Ubisoft, and all that. They don't have the ability to bounce back if they fail as easy as those companies do. So I do like anything that benefits the gaming industry. But it's also Epic, so they're a little shifty. I mean, they might force them to put their characters in Fortnite or some crap. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see how that actually benefits in the overall for somebody like the Phasmophobia people. So
it'll be interesting to see how many small developers flock to the Epic Game Store, right? To exclusively put their apps on there.
Yeah, but then at that point, I bet it's just mostly shovelware developers. If they're going to make it exclusively on there, it's probably just shovelware.
Right. Because the bigger developers are more than likely going to, or the smaller developers, but I mean, if they want that exposure, right, they're going to get more exposure on Steam, and that's just all there is to it, right? It's nothing against Epic or Epic's Game Store, which is not a bad. I hate all these launchers and stuff, but Epic's is not that bad.
I have it for the free game.
Right. And it's not that bad even if you want to buy a game on there. They have a lot of good incentives for even purchasers. You get they have like a rewards program where you get a certain amount of like money back in reward points that you can use towards your next purchase and stuff. So they have a lot of incentive for new customers and customers coming in and buying things from them. But again, it's, most people are going to have Steam, and that's going to be the first thing they're going to load up, and they're going to see on the front of that storefront those new games and various things like that. Whereas an Epic is going to be more of an afterthought for most people. I mean, it is for me, right?
Yeah. So I found some statistics here. So only top 1% of indie games earn over $7 million total for their game. The top 10% of indie games typically make around 187,000. And then the majority, which is the bottom, the 50% and under, make about 4,000 on their game. So it sounds like, Epic's not going to get much money on these indies, except for maybe top 10% is 187, and we'll say top 5% of indie games then. So,
Yeah. I mean, if these indie games come out to be good.
Was that Shane? You were saying something? I think Shane was saying something there, but I can't hear him. Yeah, I can't hear Shane at all. So I don't know what you got to say, but you were saying something.
Sorry. No, I was just say if you can get developers to flock to you, even in small amounts, you're going to bring some people with that. And I really think that's what they're trying for. They're never going to take Steam ever. Nobody ever will. I can't, unless Steam absolutely F-bombs their launcher. I can't ever imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get that viral hit game, right? That's probably what they're hoping for. That viral indie guy like Phasmophobia. If he was like, I'm making this exclusively on Epic because of the rev share. Yeah. But I don't think any indie developers probably doing that. They're like, hey, I'll get whatever revenue I can get from Epic, and I'll get whatever I can get from Steam, and I'll get whatever I can get from Microsoft and PlayStation.
Yep. And you know that exclusivity kills games. I mean, it really does. So
yeah, I think an indie developer is less likely to say. I mean, there has been. I mean, what was it? The Star Wars game that was on Epic for like a timed exclusive was stupid in itself. I waited for it to go to Steam before I got it.
Which one was that one?
The last one that came out.
The last one, Star Outlaws.
Outlaws, yeah, that one was an Epic like was it 3-month exclusive, or I can't remember how long it was. It wasn't very long, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, of course that's good for indie developers, but I doubt it doesn't matter. They're not asking for exclusivity here though either, so I can put it on there, get 100% rev share, and also put it on Steam and wherever else I want, not have to worry about it. So one of the things that catches me off guard here is they didn't say, hey, you need to give us an exclusive release for your game. So if they don't have to do that, then it's hard to find the hidden thing here, unless they're like, hey, we're going to lock you into our engine and you're not going to be able to release on Steam, Yeah,
I mean, I don't think there is any. I think it's basically kind of what you were saying. They were hoping for those. Even if they put their games on multiple platforms, they're hoping for that one big hit that makes more people flock to the Epic Game Store, right? And just get more eyes on that storefront. I think Epic's just really trying hard to get more eyes on that storefront. They're still doing the free game stuff. If they had enough, I would say if Epic had enough consumers on that storefront, they would probably stop doing the free game thing eventually, right?
Oh yeah. Like the free games isn't even, like you just mentioned, the free games is not enough to drive their people. Right. I mean, I hop on Epic every now and then just to see what the free game is, and if I want it, I put it on my thing. But I think 99% of my library is their free games.
Right. Yeah, I bought a few. Maybe
I bought an exclusives. Maybe. I think what I own on there is Satisfactory because it was only on Epic for a long time, and then like a Rebel Outlaws game.
I own Satisfactory because it was on there for a long time, and Witchfire because it was on there for a long time. It just came to Steam not too long ago. So,
yeah, I think I got Delta Force and a few others besides the Delta Force was a free to play if I remember right.
Yeah, that's on Steam.
I got a bunch of free play because I just hop on. I'm like, I like that. I'll get that and throw it in my library.
Yeah,
maybe I'll play
or
it
Infinite Nikki. That was on and still is only on Epic. So,
well, they can keep that.
That's a fun little game.
Sure, Nick like to play dress up.
If you like to play dress up, who doesn't? Shane, come on.
Final Fantasy 13 2. That's where I dress up
or dress down.
Riku.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, like I said, it sounds like it's good for small developers. There's no downside other than, again, exposure, right? But I mean, you can put it on. There doesn't seem to be any sort of exclusivity from Epic's official site. It didn't say anything about needing to be exclusively on their store. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, so then for those small developers, you might as well put your game on Epic as well as on Steam, right? So I mean, maybe that's another thing. Maybe a lot of those smaller developers were only picking Steam and not putting it on Epic. And now this will just give them more incentive to, hey, I was going to put it on Steam, but I guess I'll throw it on Epic as well, right? And that just gives more game selection on the Epic store, so Epic has more games that it can, sell. I think one that we had on Epic that was exclusive was that we had reviewed a long time ago was Crime City, right? Wasn't that it came out exclusively on the Epic store?
That was that really bad
Crime Boss. Crime Boss, yeah. That was
Rocky City, Crime Boss.
City.
Chuck Norris, the game.
That game was horrible.
Yeah, it was like star-studded, horrible crap.
I saw it on Steam the other day. I think they were selling it for like $1.99 or something. I can't remember. They had it on sale, or maybe it was like $4. I'm like, I don't even know if it's worth. I don't even think it's worth that much.
Yeah, that's overcharging.
Yeah, you're charging too much for that.
Yeah.
But
I remember the announcement at Game Awards.
Yeah, because it star-studded. Had a bunch of famous actors.
Yeah, Danny
in it.
Glover. And
Yeah,
Chuck
from
Norris and
1968.
Vanilla Ice.
That's
And the main
Oh.
guy was
Michael Madsen.
yeah.
Michael Madsen, Chuck Norris, freaking Vanilla Ice.
And then wasn't it the Wheel of Fortune
Vanna White.
wasn't Vanna White in there?
Kim
Or who
Basinger was
the
in
woman?
there. Danny Trejo was Kim Basinger. She was.
Oh, there you go. Kim Basinger. That's what I was saying.
No.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
of
they
those
had-
old ones.
Danny Trejo was in there.
Yeah.
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker, yeah. So a lot of oldies that we grew up on, but wasn't a good game.
No, it was
No.
a bad game.
It was a very bad game.
No, just because you put Hollywood in it doesn't make it good.
Didn't make it good. I was hoping it'd be good, but it was not good.
Yeah.
No.
Sounded like an
it was
interesting
far
premise,
from.
but yeah, it was bad.
Really
It was
bad.
unnecessarily difficult too. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was like trying to be Payday,
Payday.
but
yeah.
it wasn't, right? And Payday 3 was pretty lackluster, but I mean, Payday 2
It was worse
I
than Payday
know-
3.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
Payday
easily.
2 was really fun, and that's why we picked up Payday 3, and then Payday 3 was like,
Yeah.
But I'd rather play Payday 3 than Crime Boss, or yeah.
I'd rather
Any day of
eat
the
a
week.
payday than play Crime Boss.
I like
Hey, I like Paydays.
No, you eat those nuts. Yeah.
Shane's more of a Baby Ruth type guy.
He
Baby
likes the
Ruth.
chocolate covered turd. Eh?
I like it when I find them in the pool.
He likes it when the payday
Baby
comes
Ruth.
out.
Yeah.
not when it
He
goes-
likes watching how it's made.
Ooh, it's a payday factory down there.
Yeah, making my own.
He's the pool guy cleaning out the pool. Hey, it's Payday. In that
Anywho,
movie.
Turd talk.
I don't remember. What movie was it?
That was Sandlot?
Uh-uh.
No, it was the golf movie.
Yes. Golf movie.
Oh, god dang it.
With the groundhog.
Caddyshack.
Yeah,
There you go.
Caddyshack, yeah.
Caddyshack. Duty in the pool.
Duty.
All right. Now that we've shown our age, you guys got anything else you want to talk about?
Nope, duty covers it.
All right.
Eat that payday.
That's right. All right. Well, let us know down in the comments below. What do you guys think? If you're a small developer, what do you think of not having to pay any fees?
Time for us to
the
make our
first
game
one?
now, Nick.
Yeah.
3 of us need to make our game.
Rock A City 2.
Payday launcher.
Payday launcher. All right. Well, let us know down in the comments below. Other than that, thanks for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Stay up to new videos we do all the time. We'll see you next time.
See ya.